Ah, that's so loud. Okay, we're going to be on page 89 in your workbook. 89. Okay, so on, was it Thursday? We did rounding to multiply, right? To estimate the answer. What's the reason people might do that? Close enough guess. And so you don't need an exact answer. But was it easy for us to multiply those numbers in our head? Yeah. That was the purpose, right? Today, what we're going to do is we're going to estimate quotients using compatible numbers. So what would a quotient be? What's a quotient? A product is the answer to a multiplication sentence. What would the quotient be? Brody?
Like one of the numbers that multiply to that number.
No. You're on the right track, though. If the product is the answer to a multiplication sentence, the quotient would be the answer to what? A division sentence. Very good. So whenever they say compatible numbers, does that mean that you're just going to round to the nearest 10 or the nearest 100? What it means is you're going to round to the nearest numbers that you can divide by. Okay? So if it was 63 and 8, couldn't I round 63 to 64 to divide by 8 evenly? You can, right? 64 divided by 8 is 8. Or if it was like 100 divided by 4, could I round it to 120 and divide that by 4? Because I'd get 30, right? The whole purpose of it is so you can do it in your head, right? So that's the purpose of compatible numbers. So Myra has a part-time job as a lifeguard at Lazy Days summer camp. How many of you are going to be lifeguards in high school?
Maybe.
What if I'm your boss? Then would you totally do it?
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. Okay, anyway, back to the story. Alex, are you on page 89? Okay, Myra has a part-time job as a lifeguard at Lazy Days summer camp. You know what? Sorry, bud. Why don't you come sit up here then? What? Hey, I think you would do better if you sat up here. Can you come sit in front of Jocelyn, please? Yes, I would like you to. Okay, she works 78 hours over 4 weeks. Myra estimates how many hours she works each week. So estimate, right? Does that mean we're going to be exact? So we're rounding 78 and 4. What would be some compatible numbers that we could do there? 80. Could we easily divide 80 by 4? So we're going to round 78 to 80, and we're going to do 80 divided by 4. What did they get? How did they do that? 8 divided by 4 is, and then they added the 0. Myra says she works about 20 hours each week. Do you agree? She's close, right? Yes. Why? Because 80 is close to 78, right? So it works, okay? You don't have to write that. We talked about it. All right, next page, page 90. Alex, come up here so I can watch you work. This will be your last warning. Come on. You can do it. No, it doesn't, honey. I don't smell anything. Does anybody smell anything? No. Come sit in front of Jocelyn. Okay, walk this way, come sit in front of Jocelyn. Honey, it's either come do it up here with us, or you can go do it in Mr. Becker's office. I'm not gonna argue. Please, I'm recording this. I don't want to argue with you while we're recording. Come on up, bud. Lazy Days Summer Camp will host 624 campers during 3 sessions. About how many campers will attend each session? All right, so we've got 624 and 3. What number could we round 624 to make it easy to, don't say it out loud yet, but to make it easy to divide by 3? I want to give everybody a second to think here. Raise your hand when you think you know what we could round 624 to divide by 3. Charlie, what do you think? 600, very good. If we rounded it to 600 divided by 3, what do you get? Well, how would you do it? 6 divided by 3 is, and then what do I do? Add the zeros. Okay. Trying to see what they did here. Okay, so they did circle a number on the number line that is close to 624. That's easier to divide by 3. So we did 600, right? All right, so we said about how many campers? About how many? 200, the answer, right? Hey, Shannon has 1,880 energy bars to make welcome packets for campers. Pay attention, please. She puts 4 energy bars in each packet. Shannon says that she can make 470 welcome packets. Is that reasonable? So what are we estimating? What would our division sentence be if we weren't estimating? Divided by 4. Okay, so if we just cover up the 8 and the 0, right? If we're just looking at those first 2 numbers, what would be a number close? It's okay. What would be a number close to 18 that could be easily divisible by 4? What do you think? 16's close. We could do that. Is there another number that might be closer? How about 20? Can we do 20 divided by 4? So if I covered up these 2, what do I need to replace them with? Divided by 4, right? And remember, you look at the 20. So what is 20 divided by 4? 5, and then what? Add the zeros. Is our estimated number, will it be bigger than or less than the actual? Bigger. Why? Because the number we divided by was bigger than the actual number, right? Okay. Somebody else said we could change it to 16, couldn't we? Because that's close too. So 16 divides easily by 4, and we said 20. So if we rounded this one to 16, what would I have to do? If I rounded 18 to 16, what would I write? I would write 16, right? For that. And then what do I have to replace these 2 with? Zeros. So then I take 16 divided by 4 is 4, and then I add the 2 zeros. Now, our answer, that we got here, would it be less than or more than the actual answer? Less, why? Because our estimated number was less than the actual number. Then we rounded to 2,000 and we got 500. So we know that the actual answer will be between what two numbers? So she said that she was going to make 470 welcome packets. Is that a reasonable answer? It's reasonable. Good. Lazy Days Summer Camp has tents that each fit 5 campers. The camp director says they need 78 tents for 290 campers. Is this reasonable? So that's the answer he thinks he needs. What would be my division sentence? We're dividing out 290 campers divided by the 5 campers that can fit in each tent, right? So set 290 divided by 5. Okay, 290. What would be a compatible number? Because we're going to cover up the 0, right? What would be a compatible number that we can round 29 to? That's 30. And then what else do I need? That 0. So we're doing 300 divided by 5. Cover up the zeros. Can I do 3 divided by 5? But can I do 30 divided by 5? What do you get? And then what do I do? Add the zeros. Is that number going to be more than or less than the actual answer? That one's going to be more. Why? Because our number went up. Okay. Let's find one that might be less. So 29, if we wanted one that was less, what would it round to? There's one more though. What? So if we divided 30 and got 6, what would be the next compatible number down from 30 that divides by 5? 25. So what number would I write? And then what do I have to do? Add the 0. Then I'm going to divide by 5. What is 250 divided by 5? 50. Is that our answer there? Will that be more or less than the actual answer? Less. So we know that our answer is going to be somewhere between 60 and 50. The guy guessed 78. Is he right? Is he reasonable? No. Why not? Because why? We know the answer should be between 60 and 50. We know the answer should be less than 60, more than 50. So he was not reasonable. All right, use compatible numbers to divide 1,765 divided by 6. Okay, 17 divided by 6. What's a compatible number that's close to 17 that would divide by 6? Josie? 18. So then what do I do with these two numbers? Make them zeros. So we're going to take 1,800 divided by 6. Bodie, pay attention. Alex, pay attention. Alex, up here. Bodie, sit up, please. Alex, face, turn your body this way. Okay, how do I do it? So 18 divided by 6 is, then what? Add the 2 zeros. What do we get? So 1,765 divided by 6 is about 300. Very good. Is it easy? Not too shabby, huh? Jenna marks her calendar over here to show how many days until summer camp. Jenna says that the camp starts in 13 weeks. We have to decide, is she reasonable? Okay, how many days until summer camp? What would we divide by? How many days are in a week? So what would I take 147 divided by? 7. Okay, so which number could I round? Think about it. 147, think about it. When you think you know what number we could round to, raise your hand. What would we cover up to figure it out? The 7, right? What would we round 14 to? Can 15 be divided by 7? Can 14 be divided by 7? So we could just leave that, right? And then what do I have to do? Turn the 7 into a, then I can divide by 7. What do we get? Not just 2, 20. So we're saying 20 weeks. Would our number be more than or less than the actual answer? Less than, because the number we used is less than. Do you think she had a reasonable answer? That's a little far off. But it could be close though, right? Because if we rounded down, oh no, we need to round up. Let's round up and see. Oh yeah, because our number is less than the original answer, right? So her number can't be less than ours, can it? So is she reasonable? Is she? No, because we know the actual answer is going to be bigger than 20. So is her answer reasonable? No. Does that make sense? Each flashlight costs $8. The director, stop buddy, of Lazy Days Camp says that $4,480 will buy enough flashlights for 560 campers. So we're saying that if we did $8 per camp per flashlight, what do they want us to do? And each one costs $4,480. What would be our original division sentence to see how many flashlights that would buy? Okay, what do I need to do, guys? What numbers would I cover up? 8 and 0. So 44 divided by 8. What's a number close to 44 that can be divided by 8? So if we rounded to 48, then what do I do? Add the 2 zeros and then divide by 8, right? So 4,800 divided by 8 would be what? Not just 6 though, right? 600, you got to add those zeros, right? Would our guess be more than or less than the original answer? More, why? Because we rounded up. Let's round down this time. Okay, we're going to round down. 4,480, cover up the 80. 44, rounding down, what's the next compatible number? 40. Then what do I do with the 8 and the 0? Divided by 8. How would I do it? Cover up all zeros, so 4 divided by 8. 40 divided by 8 is what? 5. Then what do I do? Add the zeros. Would this number be less than or more than the actual answer? Less than. So we know that the actual answer is somewhere between 600 and 500. The person guessed 560. Is that a reasonable answer? Yes. Why? Is 560 between 600 and 500? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Are we all on the struggle bus this morning?
Yeah.
Me too, y'all. Me too. It's the Mondayest Tuesday ever. Okay, I want you to try 5, 6, and 7, and then we're going to talk about them. Okay? 5, 6, and 7. Is anybody else hot or is it just me?
I'm cold.
So it's just me. Okay, you guys try 5, 6, and 7. Brody, try 5, 6, and 7. Brody, you got them yet? I don't know if you can be. I didn't know that you know. Brody, are you working? Alex, are you working? Who said what? Which one? Well, sit up. That would probably help. Okay, what numbers did you cover up? Cover up the 1 and the 4. So what's close to 82 that can be divided by 9? 82 divided by 9. What's close to 82? Can you divide 80 by 9? No. Maybe it's your coat. So what's 82? Can we divide 82 by 9? No. But what number close to it can be divided by 9? About 81? What, we said 81, right? So what might help write it, okay? So if you write 1, 0 divided by 9, then give me 81. You guys need to make sure you show your work. Don't try to do it in your head, okay? Because I want to see what you're doing, okay? It's not 81. Are you doing 8100 divided by 9? That's what you're doing, right? You're rounding 8214 to 8100, right? Then you're dividing by 9. So do that step. All right, let's look up here really quick. All eyes, please. 33 divided by 3. What did we round 33 to? 30. I want you guys to write what you're rounding to. Write the whole problem. So 30 divided by 3. Why do I want you to do that? Show your work. I don't want you to skip any steps. And I want you to make sure you're dividing correctly. Okay? It's really important not to skip any steps. So now what? Cover up the 0. What's 3 divided by 3? 1. Then what? So 33 divided by 3 is about 352 divided by 7. Well, can I take 3 divided by 7? So I would just cover up the 2, right? What's a number that I could round to? Can we take 35 divided by 7? So I would do just 35? 350 divided by 7. So then what do I do? 35 divided by 7 is 5. And then what do I do? 8,214. Well, can I do a number smaller than that one to divide? No. So I'm going to move my finger over. What number close to 82 can be divided by 9? 81. So 81, then what do I do with those two numbers? Divided by 9. So what is 81 divided by 9? 9. Am I done? Add the 2 zeros. Very good. All right, Alex, can I see your homework book? Alex, do you have your homework book up here? I'll get it. All right, page 35 in your homework book. Alex, I really need you to pay attention. Alex, look at me. Alex, I need you to pay attention. You're being very disrespectful to me. Honey, we're all tired, aren't we, guys? We're all looking a little lethargic this morning. But it's Tuesday. That's why it's the Mondayest Tuesday ever. All right, go ahead and put your name on it. Mr. Howard buys 656 apples for his summer camp. There are 8 cabins of campers. He says that he can give each cabin 82 apples. Is this reasonable? Okay, so you're gonna do, what would our original dividing sentence be? 656 divided by 8. I want you to find both answers here. So I want you to round up and round down. So you're going to do this twice. So cover up that, right? So 656, rounding up, what would be a number close to 65 that can be divided by 8? Can we do 70 divided by 8? What could we do? Can we do 60 divided by 8? You can't do 70 divided by 8. Party rocking with the 8s for sure. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. Is that close? Okay, so then what do I do? The 6 goes to 0. So what is 64 divided by 8? 8. And then what? 80. So is this number going to be more than or less than the actual answer? Less. Why less? Because we rounded down. This time we're going to round up. Okay. So party rocking with the 8s for sure. 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72. So what would I round to? 72, and then what? Turn the 6 to a 0, divided by 8. What's 72 divided by 8? 9. And then what do I do? Add the 0. Is that number going to be more than or less than the actual answer? More than. So we know the actual answer is going to be between 80 and 90. The guy said he is estimating 82. Is that a reasonable answer? Why? Yes, because you can just put yes. And if you want to put 82 right there and have that be your explanation, that's fine. Yes, because 82 is between 80 and 90. Okay, on this one, this is your original That's your original division problem. You have to round that one. You're going to round one up and round down, right? Then you have to decide, would $825 be a reasonable answer? Does that make sense what you're doing here? Okay. Numbers 3 through 6. You only have to round to the closest compatible number. Okay, you don't have to go up and down. Just pick the closest one. Okay. However, do I want you to write it? You can either write it to the side or above it. Okay. 459 divided by 9. How would I do it? Okay. Can we do 45 divided by 9? So what would I turn that 9 into? Divided by 9. And then you put your answer on the line, right? What would 45 divided by 9 be? 5. And then what do I do? Add the 0. Okay. On 7 and 8, what does it say? 2 estimates. So you have to round down and up. So this one here, we're going to round, cover up the O and the 8. 21 divided by 4. What's the number close to 21 that we could do? 20. And then what do I do? Add the zeros. Divided by 4. Okay, now what? So 2 divided by 4. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. And then what? Add the 2 zeros. Now we're ready to find the other one. Is that number more or less than the actual answer? Less. So now we're going to do divided by 4. Okay, 21. We want to round up. What's a number bigger than 21 that can be divided by 4? Say it again. 24. Then what do I have to do? Add the zeros, divided by 4. What's 24 divided by 4? And then what? So we know our answer will be between what 2 numbers? So you look where you have to write that, guys, where it says the quotient is between. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, moving on. Alex, you need to pay attention. Paulina plants 328 flower bulbs in a garden. She plants the bulbs in 8 rows. What is the best estimate for the number of bulbs Paulina plants? So what would be our division sentence? 328 divided by 8. Okay. You have to show your work though, right? Yeah. Imani has 5,562 baseball cards to put into 9 binders. Which of the following best estimates the number of cards she can put in each binder? So they did between, right? So are you going to have to estimate a bigger number and a smaller number? So you're going to have to do it twice, right? So you're going to have 5,562 divided by 9, and you have to do it twice. Make sense? Yes? Okay, draw a line to match each division problem with the best way to use compatible numbers. So 43 divided by 6. What's the closest number to 43 that can be divided by 6? Okay, so which one of that would those be? Right there, right? So that's how you do that. Easy peasy. Okay, Jolie had 8 feet of pink string and 3 times as many feet of purple string. Write an equation to find F. How many feet of purple string Jolie has. Then find the value that makes the equation true. Okay, how would we find F? Is there more purple or more pink? No. Purple. Is purple going to be our bigger number? Do I have the total number though? I know she's got 8 feet and 3 times as much of pink. How would I find it? 8 times 3 equals, they want us to use F. Equals F, the amount of purple string. You still have to solve it, right? 8 times 3 equals, give me the answer. What would we label it as? Feet. Okay, make sure you label it. A pair of dress pants cost $60. That's 3 times as much as a pair of sweatpants. How much do the sweatpants cost? So which one costs more, the dress pants or the sweatpants? Dress pants. So that's our biggest number we're going to have, right? They cost 3 times as much as the sweatpants. Would I multiply by 3? If I multiplied by 3, that would give me a big number. We don't want a bigger number, do we? So what do we have to do? 60 divided by 3 equals, they want us to use S for the unknown. Okay, then you solve it. 60 divided by 3 equals blank. What are we going to label that as? That's how many sweatpants he had? Not how many. Dollars. Where would the dollar sign go before it? Okay, questions. All right, go ahead and get to work. Please use your multiplication chart for this, okay? Bodie, will you open my drawer for everyone that needs one? Alex, here you go.